Liz Cheney is hosting on Fox News Channel here. She's filling in for Sean Hannity. And she thinks, how can I get someone to make me look a little less insane? Well, I could bring on the most insane man in America, John Bolton, and that way we can be crazy together. So let's have some fun and watch to see what they came up with.
Osama Bin Laden may have been killed under President Obama's watch, but it was the Bush-Cheney program of enhanced interrogations that led to intelligence that helped us find Bin Laden. Techniques, by the way, that Barack Obama strongly denounced. I mean, to the extent that there have been foreign policy successes on this president's watch, they're built on policies of the last administration. And, you know, I'm wondering, did they say thank you and I missed it somehow?
No, I don't think you missed anything. In fact, the killing of Osama bin Laden is a perfect example, and indeed it's the cornerstone of the Obama re-election argument that foreign policy's off the table because bin Laden's dead, Gaddafi's dead, Anwar al-Awlaki's dead. Whereas, in fact, the only thing that Barack Obama did in connection with killing Osama bin Laden is get out of the way. You can say that bin Laden was killed while Obama was president. That's certainly true. But he was not killed because Obama was president.
That's amazing. Just when you think they can't get any crazier, they're like, I got a great idea. Bin Laden, who was killed many years into Obama's administration, was actually killed by George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. Now, here's how Bush and Cheney could have actually killed bin Laden. By killing him. Except they didn't for 8 years. By the way, bin Laden was a threat, and a well-known threat, one that the Clinton administration warned them about and said, that's the guy you're going to concentrate on, even before 9/11. But after 9/11, they had at least 7 years to kill him. And yet somehow, in all of that time, they couldn't do it. But apparently they paved the way so that many years later, President Obama could kill him. And they talked about in that clip about what the tactic that President Obama used to kill him. Here was the tactic. Navy SEAL Team 6, Lance, shoots him in the head. That was the tactic. They're like, oh no, but Cheney should get credit for what? For the torture? But there is no evidence, none, that any of the torture led to any evidence that led to bin Laden. And besides which, they'd been torturing people for 7 long years, and yet they couldn't find anything to get to bin Laden. But it's much worse than that. If you know the actual facts, there was a commander on the ground, an American commander in Afghanistan near Tora Bora. He had 5,000 Americans with him. He asked Don Rumsfeld for permission to pursue bin Laden when we had him cornered in Tora Bora. A terrific article by James Risen of the New York Times on that many years ago. It came out in 2005. And Rumsfeld said, stand down. Do not pursue bin Laden. Our Afghan allies, like the 18 guys that we sent there, have got it covered. And shockingly enough, they didn't have it covered, and he escaped to Pakistan, where Bush then later said, I'm not that concerned about him. So the brilliant tactic Bush used on bin Laden was not being concerned. The tactic President Obama used was shooting him in the head. But somehow, in Fox News world, Bush should get credit for killing bin Laden, but not Obama. Well, if you live on bizarro planet Fox News, that makes all the sense in the world to you. And, you know, let me add one last thing. What a bunch of losers crying afterwards. Oh, but I know we didn't get him, but, you know, we could have gotten him, and then it was Obama, and he's getting credit because he killed him, and we're losers. Liz, your dad was a grotesque failure. Not only was he a horrible human being, not only was he completely and utterly ineffectual, but he did all of that torture, all the work in the dark side, as he said, for what? For no good results. You didn't get bin Laden because you're a failure and a loser. And number two, you created a disastrous war in Iraq, got hundreds of thousands of people killed, cost us, in the end, over $1 trillion. And what do we get for that? Now Iran is talking about how Iraq is their main ally, and they'd like to hold the next round of negotiations in Iraq because that's the one government they can trust. So that's what your loser father brought us. So please, spare me any of your nonsense. Go do these weird conspiracy theories you have with John Bolton in a closet somewhere.